vote over Mitt Romney's 45%.
Gonna try to record this from my webcam, so give me a second. I gotta turn the brightness down so you can see. And I'm probably gonna get up.
Right now, Romney with 184,
and
the magic number to win the presidency is 270, with several key battleground
Let's
states
see.
still out. Now, which national race still too close to call? Want to get you an idea what the field
As long as you can hear it, I guess it's good, right?
Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania,
turn it up.
to be specific.
David Highfield is with the local Republicans. He
There we
is
go,
at
people.
their headquarters tonight, but let's start with Ralph Iannotti. He is with
Oh, I'm
the
gonna get tangled in
Democrats, who have
cords.
to be happy about the president's win here in Pennsylvania.
Come on, clear up.
Yes, they certainly did. Democrats had a lot to cheer about tonight here at the IBEW Hall on Pittsburgh's South Side. Police estimate at least 500 Obama supporters tonight to gather here to watch the results come in. And as the night and evening progressed, the enthusiasm seemed to spread among party faithful included here. Of course, a lot of young people, a lot of union members who are among the president's ardent supporters. They knocked on doors, made phone calls, and drove people to the polls by the thousands. And then the cheers exploded here tonight when they announced the Pennsylvania had
Here we go. I gotta
Senator Bob Casey and
try to
President
move.
Obama carried the state and its 20
sorry, people.
electoral votes.
We felt confident that the message of the president and the senator was getting through to hard-working, middle-class, Pennsylvanians and residents of Allegheny County and the city. And
I felt pretty comfortable all along.
You know, I'm just gonna set this webcam down.
Hold on. Doing well here in Allegheny County. You know, you never know what other parts of the state will be. The fact that Mitt Romney's been really, I think, threw a Hail Mary pass at the end after having never been here
Come on,
for months
Jim, get
and
it
months.
right.
Now in the last week he tries to cover. I think that was a desperation because Ohio wasn't going well.
And once again, very
Y'all
few
can watch
people
the
have
news
left
with me.
the Union Hall here on the south side. As we said, police estimate at least 500 or more supporters have gathered here, and every time they show figures on the billboard here, what's going on in the presidential race, the cheers go up once more. There's a Democratic senator winning in Massachusetts and one in Missouri, and again the crowd cheers. So all over now, but the shouting in terms of the presidential contest and what happens with President Obama and Mitt Romney in the very big race for the White House. Reporting live from the IBEW Hall on the South Side, Ralph Iannotti, KDKA TV News.
Okay, Ralph, thanks so much. Mitt Romney spent a lot of time and money in Pennsylvania recently, hoping to win the state. David Highfield joins us from the local Republican headquarters. David, definitely not the outcome that they were hoping for tonight.
No, the mood here is very different. As you know, Susan, this is also the headquarters for Tom Smith, and much of the crowd here very depressed that he lost. In fact, much of the crowd here has dispersed, but those who remain hopeful about the presidential election. And we have some videos to show you from earlier of the party that was going on here, and there are people here who still hope that this will become a victory party for Governor Mitt Romney. Some here admit, though, that some key states, including Pennsylvania, going to Obama, according to CBS News, is a disappointing sign. I talked to one woman here who came to Pittsburgh from Texas to campaign for Romney when they decided there was a chance that this state might be up for grabs. And then a short time ago, I talked to Tom Smith, senior advisor, about the current status of the presidential race. Listen.
Well, a little less optimistic than when we first chatted earlier today. A number of battleground states, such as New Hampshire, Minnesota, have already been called for the president. The Democratic pickups in the United States Senate may very well portend that President Obama is going to be reelected. Too close to call still in Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, and so we may have a long night waiting for those races to be called.
And there are a few people that remain here watching the returns, hoping that things will turn out the way they want to. They're hoping that Governor Mitt Romney will pull ahead in the presidential race. That is the very latest from the Sheraton Station Square. David Highfield, KDKA TV News.
David, thanks. Now, after casting his ballot in Massachusetts this morning, Mitt Romney made two final campaign stops in Ohio and here in Pittsburgh. But it was quick. He was on the ground for less than an hour, stopping by a campaign office in Greentree. Tonight, Romney back in Boston, watching the returns come in.
President Obama voted by absentee ballot and spent his day today in Chicago. He stopped at a small campaign field office, thanking the workers and actually making a few calls to voters. Tonight, he is still in Chicago watching the results.
And the biggest race here in Pennsylvania, the battle for U.S. Senate. Democrat Bob Casey looking to retain his seat tonight. He's done it. Here are the numbers. in the U.S. Senate race. It's an easy re-election victory for Senator Bob Casey. Harold Hayes is live at Casey headquarters at the Scranton Hilton in Bob Casey's hometown. Harold.
Well, some of the supporters of Casey here, some of the longtime Democrats, really have come away from this saying, don't believe the hype. You know, when Casey beat Rick Santorum back in 2006, it was by a 55 to 44% margin. You're seeing similar numbers, although we're still waiting for more numbers to come in tonight. And nobody would have thought that because a few days ago, everybody was saying...
Okay, people on commercial, I'm going to turn it off.
But Casey, when he accepted this election victory tonight, acknowledged there is still a lot of work to do, particularly with regard to the economy. Right here in his home area of Scranton, unemployment is 9.6%, which is above the national average. And he talked about the sluggish economy and what needs to be done when he gave his victory speech a few minutes ago.
We know that right now we're still in a recovery. Jobs are being created at a faster rate, but not fast enough. Not fast enough. We're in a region, northeastern Pennsylvania right now, where the unemployment rate is far too high. It's the highest in our Commonwealth. So every time we talk about progress, every time we talk about momentum, and to celebrate that and to recognize that, a lot of that assessment should be informed by the reality that people's lives are today. So many people in our state, so many people in this region, still living lives of struggle and sacrifice.
That's Bob Casey accepting this victory tonight. Again, a lot of people thought it was going to be a lot closer. It wasn't, but again, he acknowledges he has a lot of work to do with regard to the economy, and of course, these folks still waiting to see how the national election turns out. From Scranton, Harold Hayes, KDKA TV News.
All right, Harold, thank you. Well, some disappointment tonight for Republicans who had hoped another Republican would join Senator Pat Toomey on Capitol Hill. Let's get back to David Highfield now, who is with the Smith campaign. David.
Yeah, Susan, the man from Armstrong County who made millions in the coal industry was not the winner tonight. And if you listen to his concession speech, he talked about not being done. Now watch some video here as he and his family made their way up onto the stage. This is around 10:20 tonight whenever he made this concession speech. Tom Smith, a Tea Party organizer, said, "Tomorrow we will double our efforts to take back this country." He said they must repeal Obamacare and must end what he calls the war on Pennsylvania coal. Listen to some more of what he had to say at the podium.
Now, while Senator Casey and I disagree on many things, we both share a love for this country and this state.
You can tell. My cat's on the
and we
table,
both
people.
believe that America's best days are ahead of her.
Fat ass.
Most of all, I want to thank so many of the voters in Pennsylvania
My little pretty
for
kitty.
putting their faith in me at this critical time in our history. Tonight,
you zapped me,
they spoke loudly and clearly that they are ready to change course. And tonight's outcome does nothing to change that.
Well, from the beginning, the Smiths campaign said that this has been...
All right, this is more local, guys. I'm really only worried about the, I mean, don't get me wrong, I want Pennsylvania to win and all. Democrat, of course, but this isn't really what I want to watch. So, I'll keep you posted as the news comes in.
KDKA TV News.
Well, wait a minute.
Thanks. Now, here's the tightest race we've got
Never mind.
for U.S. House. Incumbent Mark Kritz,
We're gonna stay a minute.
this morning in
My cat keeps trying to get on the table.
Rothfuss cast his ballot in Sewickley. Here's a look at the numbers right now. 94% of the precincts reporting in. Rothfuss has opened up a small lead, but you see how close it is. It's 51-49 in favor of the Republican Rothfuss trying to unseat Mark Kritz. We're going to continue to watch that one. It remains too close to call.
And Christine D'Antonio is live at the Rothfuss campaign in the North Hills. Christine.
Yeah, Susan, even though it is still too close to call here, Rothfuss
that's over.
supporters here
I'll keep you
every
posted.
time they